Welcome to week number 8. The focus this week is more of a recap. So this week is going to be focused on just kind of pointing out a few additional features and components that go into supervising. There is a short video that you're going to look at by Robert Marzano talking about leadership, as well as I've also attached the T-Test handbook. T-Test is the appraisal system that's used here in the state of Texas, going through and identifying or evaluating teachers. There are 4 main components that go with the T-Test, or 4 domains. In addition to the 4 domains, the focus of T-Test, again, looks at identifying areas where teachers can work on improving and things that they're doing very well. You're going to see the terms reinforcement and also the other term dealing with refinement. Those are 2 main themes that go on with T-Test. It does incorporate some of the other components we've looked at in terms of not providing too much feedback for teachers where it becomes overwhelming, but just kind of guiding and coaching them through the process. Reminder, there's no reading this week. You do have the second quiz that you need to complete. And then also make sure that you don't forget to turn in your interviews. The interviews with the administrator and the teacher are also due this week. As always, if you have any questions or have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a wonderful week. We're almost halfway done through the course. For this week's assignments, complete quiz number 2 and complete the interview assignment.
Today, Dr. Marzano is joined in the studio by 3 educators. Together, they will watch teachers at work in the classroom and discuss what they're seeing.
I'm Bob Marzano, been in education for 40 plus years. I'm the CEO of a R&D firm, Research and Development in Denver, Colorado.
I'm Justin Lessick. I've been a science and math teacher at the high school and middle school level for 11 years.
Thanks, Justin.
Christy Edwards, school administrator. I've been in education for 13 years.
Heather Ordover. I was high school English teacher since 1993.
Okay. I appreciate that. Well, one of the underlying principles in this particular model, this particular topic, effective supervision, is that, first of all, teaching is a very complex field. It's hard to get good at this. You know, some people talk about the 10-year rule. It takes at least 10 years to become expert in a complex area, and teaching is certainly one of those. And as you're progressing to expertise, that helps, or maybe it's necessary, to actually, receive feedback, talk about what you're doing, have other people talk about what you're doing. And so that's what this entire topic is about in this particular model within this topic. We're going to use a very specific rubric or scale as we look at these teachers. Just a qualifier here, the folks we're going to watch, they're great folks. They volunteered for this. And so this is not a documentary. We didn't go in and film raw footage. So we actually said, okay, please use this strategy, and this time don't use it so good. Okay, this time. So we're not judging these teachers, and we thank them very much. That's kind of scary when you realize other people are going to be watching you, and people are going to be scoring you on a scale. The model itself, and again, the big topic here is effective supervision. The model itself has 4 domains, which constitute what I consider to be kind of the major areas of research over the years have told us are important to teaching. And domain 1 deals with classroom strategies and behaviors, and that's almost obviously the focal point, of a teaching career, what you do in the classroom. Domain 2 deals with planning and preparing. Domain 3 deals with reflecting on teaching. Domain 4 is more collegiality and professionalism. It's kind of a backdrop for everything. Now, again, we're going to be just domain 1 only, and that has 41 elements in it. That's a lot. It really is, 41 different elements. For me, they're all research-based. We've tried to organize those in a logical way. So we have 3 what we call segments within that domain 1. One is routines, things that teachers do, if not every day, systematically. Then there's content, a lot of strategies there. Teachers dealing with content in different ways. And then this funny category called on the spot. And here's what that's meant to imply: that an effective teacher will be prepared for things they have not necessarily planned for. And actually, for me, that's the art part of teaching, being aware of all these possibilities here. So we'll be looking at specific elements within each one of those 3 broad segments, and we'll be using, again, a very specific rubric, which has 5 values. And this rubric is something I've used for years. Used it first for research purposes, but now for feedback to teachers. And in some cases, you could use it as part of your evaluation process. And the scale starts with what we call not using, and that is, if I'm a teacher, and I don't even realize, you know, I should be doing a little brainstorming or previewing, you know, prior to having students read something. I'm at the not using level. I'm completely unaware. Level up from that is beginning. In the beginning phase, I'm using a strategy, but I might be missing a few parts, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of a natural part of the development process. Hopefully I move that very, very quickly. Third level is developing. And developing, I use the strategy, and I don't make any errors. There's no missing pieces, but I'm still not there. See, there, in my opinion, is getting to what we call applying, and that means I use the strategy and monitor to see whether the strategy is having the effect, you know, I intended. And that makes all the difference in the world, that monitoring piece. So we'll talk about that quite a bit. Then the last level is innovating, and innovating is when a teacher uses a strategy, but makes adaptations for certain students, you know, whom it might not be working for. You know, if you got a real heterogeneous classroom, a lot of teachers do now. So I might have some ELL students, you know, who they're not bilingual, they're more monolingual Spanish, let's say. I might have to make some adaptations to a strategy, use pictures or pair that student with somebody who is bilingual. So it's making sure that innovating is changing a strategy to make sure that, you know, everybody's there, everybody gets it. So here's what we're going to start with here. Now remember, the teachers we're watching, they're volunteers. You know, we actually set them up. So again, thanks to those people. So we're going to first start with the big category of routines, and we're going to look at one element there, and that's going to be providing clear learning goals and scales to measure those goals. I think since the standards movement arguably started in the early 90s, mid 90s, across this country, pretty much every teacher, you know, already does or knows that they should be, here's the goal for today.